Stop the stress. Stop the stress using systems and processes. I just got off the phone with a client that was in somewhat panic mode, not quite total panic mode, but somewhat panic mode because her sense of urgency for her business was very high, and everyone on her team was lagging behind her sense of urgency and her drive. Now, that's normal, but here's the downside. That was causing issues for her because she needs to make sales to get ahead of her bills, and her team is costly. Having a large team like that is costly, and she's trying to get them to do the work they need to do so that she can get the money and that she needs to get in so she can pay them. So this is normal, typical stuff, right? And you might look at this and go, "That's normal business. What's the big deal? How are you going to solve that problem?" Well, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. In fact, there is a way for you to have a big team and a high need for generated revenue and have these same demands, but with so much less pressure, so much less stress. How in the world could you have less pressure and stress with a team that size? Let me tell you how. You want to get ahead of the curve through better budgeting. If you can budget better, then you can stay in advance of how much you need, enough so that you can you're not worried immediately today about paying the bills. You're actually going to be able to focus on the marketing and advertising that's going to bring you in the sales that are going to pay your bills in the future, because you already have money set aside to pay your bills for this month and the next month and the next month. So how do you get a 3 to 6 month supply of overhead, and then how do you shift focus and keep momentum going in the team so that stays and that remains? You keep that money in the bank in that way so that you can continue to, without pressure and without stress, think clearly and do a good job. I'm going to get to that in a second, but first let me explain to you why it's important. When you start to come up against that line of, I need X amount of dollars by a certain day in order to pay my bills and pay payroll, what happens is your brain actually starts to hone in and focus in on the problem instead of it being able to function as it should and be creative and think of solutions and creative ways to move forward and do marketing and advertising and hiring and handle all the necessary jobs of the day. In other words, if you're so stressed about making money, then you're not thinking clearly. You have to be in a position where you're not worried about paying your bills this month, and that's going to allow you to think freely and clearly about how to resolve issues, overcome hurdles and barriers, and move forward in a peaceful way. It's also going to allow you to clock out when you want to go home instead of being forced to be stuck in the office for hours. It's also going to allow you to have better relationships with the people around you, your loved ones at home, and also your coworkers. All this leads to a higher quality of life. So that's why you want it. But how do you attain it? How do you get that money in the bank that is going to allow you to move forward with your endeavors that are going to pay your future bills? It's a matter of budgeting. But budgeting is you can say it's the arrangement of money, right? It's your plans for your money. It's your accounting of your money. You're tracking money that's come in, and you're projecting money in the future that's going to come in and go out. You're tracking in and out in the past, present, and future at the same time. When you look at your budget, what you need to recognize is that there needs to be a defined amount that is set aside for certain things, taxes, payroll, X amount, blah, blah, blah. And that money can only be set aside if it's there and if it exists. So not only do you need to know all of your costs, all of your expenses, all the things coming up, you also need to know, you need to be able to account for all the money that's already gone out, and that's going to help you to project future money's going out. But you need to have the money there. So there's kind of a side door, a segue into a concept here that most people are not open to learning about, and that is that there's a better way to sell. Now, when I say sell, there's mostly two groups of people, two camps, two thoughts, two ways of approaching sales. One is I already know how to do it, and it's not going to get any better, and it's already the way it is, and I'm great at it, or I'm terrible at it, or whatever, but it's not going to get any better. I can't possibly do any better. So don't try and tell me how to sell better. And then the other camp is I hate sales, I have someone else do it, or I hate sales and I'm forced to do it, and I'm not open to hearing about it. Essentially, the two camps of sales is I'm the best, don't try and tell me how to do it, or I hate it and I don't want to talk about it. But so let's address both of those at the same time. Obviously, there is a better way to do something than how you've been doing it. We all know this to be true in every aspect of our lives. Even the most competent and capable people in the world realize that they can improve. So you also can improve. Now, I'm not trying to shove anything down your throat or beat you over the head or make you feel bad. What I'm trying to say is there's a few simple techniques that could really increase your revenue easily. So let's approach sales from a different perspective. What oftentimes people don't like about sales, or the ones who are good at sales love about sales, is when it comes down to the negotiating of the deal. Let's negotiate a deal. Now, a lot of times owners will give away the farm because the value of that sale is so much higher to them, and they're kind of backed into a corner. They really need the money right now, so they're willing to go down in price just to get that sale. This is a terrible place to be in. So we got to start to think differently about sales and what you're selling and how you sell. The number one concept here, without getting too deep into it, is building value. Building value and timing. So, in other words, the people who are good at sales cut right to the chase and want to negotiate. That's their favorite part. That's why they're in sales. People who are not good at sales, they drag out the communication and the social aspect of it, and then they fall flat on their face in the negotiation part. And what I'm suggesting is that you actually put all your energy and emphasis into building value up front. Building immense value up front, taking your time and letting there be some demand for your service or product based on the value that you created before you enter into a negotiation point. And now, if you don't have something that you're selling that you're negotiating for, you just have a flat price on it, this still applies. You still need to build more value in the product before before the point of purchase, and then you can increase your price on it. There's an obscure object lesson that works really well to illustrate this. Here's the obscure thing that you could utilize that could help you with understanding the concept. Let's say that you have massage services, and this is a great example. Massage services, generally speaking, run from somewhere between $50 and $150 an hour. Now, there's different types of massages, etc. So most of the time, when you get a call, somebody says, "What are your prices?" They go on the website and they look for your prices. Generally, they're looking for a number, say 150 or 50 or 75 or 80 or whatever. And then you also have the variable of the tip. But let's just focus on the actual price point for a minute. So if someone calls you and is saying, "What is your, how much is a massage?" Instead of just coming out with, because in your head, if I just have a flat rate and I give it to everybody, and they either come and see me and we schedule it or they don't, you have to take into consideration that before you give that price, if you give some information ahead of that you're creating some value, and the price doesn't become a roadblock. So the price is only an objection in the absence of value. That's huge. Price is only an objection in the absence of value. So if someone calls and says, "How much is a massage?" and I say $150, you say, "Well, I can get it across town for $100." Well, they're just going to go with the $100 across town. But if you call me up and say, "How much is a massage?" and I say, "Depends on the type of massage. This is the way we do massage here. We use blah, blah, blah techniques, and we work in this type of massage, and this type of massage. we do lymph node this, we do this, and you wouldn't really be able to distinguish it from a general deep pressure massage. But what I'm doing is I'm taking different aspects of your health, heart health, circulatory, nervous system response. I'm taking all these things into consideration when I give you a massage and I address certain needs. So the real question is, what are the problems I can help you solve with a good massage? Now all of a sudden you're bringing a huge amount of value because you're taking this thing to another level. You're bringing science into it, and you're showing what kind of immense value you can bring. And when you do that, now when you say it's 150, now all of a sudden they're going, well, I could get $100 just regular cheap massage or whatever because nobody explained what that other one was, or I can go here and spend 150, and they're going to take care of me and solve problems and address my pain point. And let's take it a step further and say I have high blood pressure. All right, so we'll do a deep pressure massage. The natural effects of massage are going to lower your blood pressure by default, generally speaking. But I specifically can work on this and this and this, and that's going to help with this and this. And the end result is chronic high blood pressure can be lowered through regular massages if they're done properly. And that's something I focus on and I can help you with. Now, as long as all that's true and you're being ethical and all that, then you're going to get a sale more times than not. So let's bring this thing whole thing full circle. If you're hand to mouth, what you want to do is, a game plan is, you have to have more money in order to budget that money differently in order to put yourself in a different position. So if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. So start with the money that's coming in, increase it. But now you may have to put out a little bit more effort. You may have a little bit higher of a cost, but increase your margins, which includes increasing your price point. So increase it, but build value. What you're going to find is you're going to make more money and get more sales by, instead of focusing on the characteristics of a sale that everyone else does, which is price point and the social aspect and the good feeling you get from making a sale, and you're getting revenue in. Don't focus on that. Focus on the immense, incredible value that you bring to the table by being an expert in your field, and your knowledge and your experience. Build value, overcome a higher price objection, and give the higher price. You're going to increase your margins. You're going to get more money in. You're going to get more sales, and you're gaining likability, credibility, trust. And so you're actually going to have more opportunity for upsell, associated sales, retention. Things are going to go better for you if you do this. And then you take that extra and now you reallocate this new money in a different way. You reallocate it differently. Now, if you've got all of your costs laid out and you know your payroll, you know your costs, and you have all this, and this is going to require you to have some good mental health time where you're free and clear of the stress of being hand to mouth. So I suggest you approach this one step at a time. First, dissect your sales process or your price point or your marketing or merchandising, whatever it is that's going to allow you to find a higher margin by building more value, and then capitalize on that with a higher margin and a higher price point. And then once you've done that, then address the budget and make sure that you're accounting for everything. Make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. And what's going to happen is you're going to find 1, 5, 10%, 20% of the money that goes out the door that you don't need it to go out the door. You could actually keep it. And on top of that, just knowing that you're accounting for all your dollars is going to give you a great sense of feeling like you're stewarding your business well. You're in control of it. You're controlling it. It's not controlling you. And this is going to give you more confidence to actually take some leaps of faith, some steps in the right direction, to make some changes that are going to allow you to find yourself in a better position with some room to breathe. And then you can start to take bigger steps and do more things that are going to continue this, such as hiring and training. So all of this is a segue into a 4-step system: sell better, budget better, hire to scale, and train for excellence. And these 4 steps, when done in perpetuity, with intentionality, and done well, they will continue to scale you up into a business that is much larger than what you have now by revenue, with much less stress, much less pressure, and a higher quality of life. So if any of this resonates with you, if any of this makes sense, let me know. I'd like to talk to you, do a free consult. I'm not asking you to give me any money. I just want you to explore some options, find out maybe some things that you can work on. I want to talk to you about it, see if I can help you in any way. Thank you. Visit chuckpeters.com for more info.